had a little bit of a detox like situation,
like from us.
Yeah. No, I needed to like
getting Bakalar to basics.
Yeah, a little bit of that. I was, like Thursday would go by. That's when we record, and I'd be like, I'm supposed to be doing something today,
and not talking to a refrigerator,
and not pretending to be enthusiastic about this gigantic disaster.
Hang on.
Are they have gigantic disasters at CES this year? Is that
that's
what's hot?
what the future is. Just gigantic.
Well, you
disasters.
were wondering how you'd follow up Alex. Here we go.
Let's talk about depression at CES. All right.
Let's kick it off. Yeah, let's talk about CES.
Okay,
baby.
Yeah, let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the technology and the good things that may be.
There's none of it.
Let's talk about CES. Let's talk about CES.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about refrigerators.
Let's talk about CBS at CES at CNET.com.
Wait.
That's just too many. That's too many acronyms.
CBS is CNET, CES.
CBS's CNET sends
seashells down by the seashore.
CBS's
CES coverage.
CES coverage
at CNET.CNET.
Did you ever actually have to say this to anyone?
No.
Oh, thank God.
That's a lot of.
So it's funny because on the, I do a lot of the stage stuff there. So in the prompter, they always say CES differently. Like they'll be like, CNET stage at the CES. And I'm just like, oh.
Like it is a tongue twister.
It is. And that's the least of that show's problems.
Yeah. What happened at boy? You're down on the Consumer Electronics Show.
It's no secret, okay? Let me just put it out there.
CBS's secret.
Yeah.
At CNET's
Stage.
CBS subdivision, CBS Eyes, CNET stage, uncensored.
Exactly.
Ooh. Were you uncensored at CES?
A little bit. So there is something kind of interesting about being uncensored. I'll get to that in a second. It deals with VR.
All right.
There's a big VR trend in Vegas.
Let's roll it back to the original question. How was CES this year?
So CES was just okay.
Las Vegas.
It was like
Consumer
The Force
Electronics
Awakens.
I feel like
It was
that's
just okay.
Wow. We're not going in that direction.
I'm
We're not
joking.
doing
I
that.
love you guys. That movie was all right.
That's a good bit.
So,
That's a good bit. That's a good goof. You got me.
It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
You're all right.
Hey there. You doing okay there?
You're doing all right. I'll have to see something funny.
Are you a Star Wars character? You sound like an alien from Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm like some shady market
Are you hosting?
guy.
You'll get a quarter portion. That's fine.
This is your bid for the Oscars. You're hosting this year.
Well, what was that guy?
Star Wars Force Awakens. That's one of them. That's like CES. Am I right?
Well, that was
Still
always,
better than Neil Patrick Harris.
It's always my favorite voice to do. Was that guy's name Zabulba? Like
Zabulba.
He's like, oh, honey, that guy.
Yeah, that was a.
The
Or was that
Flying-
Watto? That was Watto.
That was Watto.
I don't know who Zabulba is.
Zabulba's the pod racer who's
Yes.
Oh, with like the whiskers? The whiskers.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then,
regardless.
he just kills people.
J.J. Abrams aside,
Yes.
how was CES?
How was he?
It was just okay.
You asking
was
me?
all right.
Okay.
It was just okay.
It seemed subdued. Like,
oh no,
so
you're
here's a-
still doing it.
What?
You're saying CBS's CNET CES
Oh, no, that was
scenes
a God.
subdued?
Oh, I would
Look,
mean to
there
do
are
that.
a lot of S words. They might come out
Yeah,
during
S
this.
is a
Let's just
popular,
let it. Let's just let
Wheel
it
of
happen.
Fortune just gives you S.
All right.
They do. Alliterations aside.
So yeah, this is the thing. Like normally, I can point to a CES and say, "Oh, this was the CES of flat screen or of curved
4K,
TVs,
right,
3D.
F4K,
4K.
Sure.
3D, exactly. Smartphones,
This seemed like the CES of smart refrigerators.
Yeah, and that's
Which
why
is
it's a bad
great.
look.
Yeah.
Like people don't get excited about
refrigerators with cameras on the inside.
Yeah, the way they get excited about like a new TV.
Why did you put a camera inside your refrigerator?
So you
What's
don't have to
happening
open
there?
it, Vinny.
So you can
obviously.
This is a real
so you
thing.
Can, so you can see the salad dressing.
Yeah. Turn the recording off.
Just melted me. A shot just went by him. A laser beam out of Alex's eyes.
Dude,
I'm so very cross with you right now.
that was bad.
I came in. I'm technically on vacation right now, and this is
You're
what you
not
bring
even
me in
supposed
for.
to be here
I'm not
today.
even supposed to be here.
Dude, that was the kind of shit that like people get arrested for in some countries.
I think that counts as a threat, like a threat of violence just occurred.
Wow. Yes, so you could see the salad dressing. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, seriously.
Why do you want a camera?
So you could see what's in the refrigerator
Before you open the door?
So you don't have to open the door.
So do I need milk?
But it's
Yeah,
always
well,
behind it. The thing you want's always behind the thing. That's
You
in
bring
front.
up a totally lucid point, regardless of how absurd it is to put a camera into your refrigerator. I was promised a future where my refrigerator would know every last product
Yeah.
in there and then be like, oh,
That's
Jeff,
a smart refrigerator.
you could make chicken parm tonight with the ingredients in there. You could do this.
Who promised you this?
I'm with you. Yeah.
Like an IBM guy at some point promised me that.
Yeah, the guy got up and in like a real deep voice was like, the future.
It was like 1998.
Where's my flying car? But you'll have a recipe for
He's
chicken
like,
parm.
you don't need that. Your refrigerator will be your cook, and that's way more valuable.
But now we have peeping cams. And
we have these like ridiculous things. There was one refrigerator that was like tinted. It had tinted glass, and if you knocked on the door, I shit you not, you knock on the front door, it basically like lights up, and you could see through the glass.
The fuck are you talking about?
I know.
My fridge.
know.
What are we doing? Like as a
This
species?
is what the fall of Rome looks like.
Is there like a
Is
diet?
a fucking smart refrigerator.
But is the diet mode for that like
This is Caligula's technology is what it is.
Robot archaeologists in like 3450 will be like, well, we've traced the fall of mankind back to this fucking refrigerator.
Right,
it was right there.
It's some futures like 1,000 years from now, people in like white gowns with floating tablets, and then be like, next week, guys, we're gonna get to refrigerators
and then the beginning of the end.
Yeah, early Western information age civilization. So get ready for a fun ride. Yeah. It's gonna
be
go
dark.
Remember the knock fridge? Oh yeah,
that was it.
I don't want to talk about the knock fridge.
Scientists are already saying that we should change the current era of Earth to a new one because of the way things are currently shifting climate and culture.
Anthropocene.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Is there is now enough human stuff.
AP?
Yeah, we have the AP. Yeah.
What is the one we're in now called?
Wait, are you fucking telling me?
No,
isn't. I thought it's AD.
Yeah, it is. But
No, not that. Not that.
Forget it. No, I thought we had a chance to reset the
No, we're talking about Earth eras, man.
Earth eras.
Oh, I see.
And now there's like a layer. There's enough of a layer of human stuff
garbage.
that like it's going to be there forever now.
Right.
We have layered enough smart refrigerators across the Earth to make our stamp on a new era of humanity.
Jump into a new era.
See, that's less exciting.
A humanity of garbage.
We haven't touched. There's nothing we haven't touched.
What? Yeah.
And we should really stop touching all of it. We should just stop.
And it
things you're
probably
not
has to
supposed to
deal
touch.
with like
You shouldn't.
like nuclear waste over stuff too. Where it's like, oh, that's here now.
Yeah.
Or that giant fucking floating pile of plastic in the Pacific Ocean.
The
that
size
shit.
of Antarctica or whatever it is. Yeah.
Somebody will build on that.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's where they're going to build Rapture. Finally.
Andrew Ryan will just hook it up.
Some fish is gonna like wind up stranded on that, but like be able to survive. That's how we're gonna find like some fish colony out there 100 years from now.
Yeah, he's gonna
when their
float.
ship comes over and is like, we're here to invade you.
And 1,000 years from then, when they build their own smart refrigerators, their time will be over and a new will begin.
They're gonna trap us all because their version of nets are gonna be 6-pack rings, and they're just gonna like put us all in like giant 6-pack rings. And like this is we learned this from you, and like tote us around.
Oh wow!
I think there was a Simpsons. I think there was a Simpsons Halloween episode that
Yes.
did that.
Yes.
Once
really?
the dolphins come to life.
It's all going to happen, and like the great architects that are constantly conducting these experiments on each planet, they're like, shit. It's always when we get to the smart refrigerator.
Smart refrigerators do it every time.
And then two giant aliens in a bathroom are gonna exchange $1. And
Right.
$1.
Is that trading? Is that a trading places reference?
More to moop.
No, oh, that one I'll let slide.
That one's all right. Portamoop's all right.
Okay,
Taking
so
it all back.
Wait,
for
here's a
second.
question.
Sure.
To your smart refrigerator stuff. Do you have to keep...
Don't
I
associate
know
me
you
with that.
love smart
No, that's you.
refrigerators.
That's all you
Do
know.
you have to keep a fucking straight face during these conversations?
So I don't come into contact with that. Like
Okay.
that's
You
just
just
what
walk
was
past
there.
You're out there in your hazard suit.
No, I'm at this. Yeah, seriously, I'm at this stage. I'm like, I'm not sharing the same air as you crazy assholes. I'm at the stage the whole time. Cena has a huge presence. It's our Super Bowl,
I
right?
see.
It's our thing. We got to be there,
Right.
Whether
But you
or
don't
not
have to
it's
attend the
awful.
sideshows.
Totally. So I don't. We have a lot of people.
I
there.
want to be clear. I understand lots of people probably work really hard on these terrible refrigerators.
I'm sure they do.
But-
the problem, the thing is like
don't.
the fact that that's the hottest thing at CES is indicative of like the crisis.
Where that show
This is the
headed.
point that I was trying to
It's
make.
like
Yeah.
the crisis that CES as a whole currently
That I
has.
couldn't leave. That CES normally has a thing where it's like, yeah, I guess if I won the lottery, I'd buy that. Like this year's like, there's nothing new that's on
Well,
that
it's
list.
just like haptic VR suits. So that's like the
That's cool,
closest
though.
they got into
Yeah.
our sphere.
Total. I mean, yes, there was some interesting stuff. Intel, the press conference day is starting to become like CES is really the most exciting thing, and that's the day before the show floor opens.
So it's like E3-ish.
Exactly.
It's like, here's Kaz Hirai. Remember him? He's back.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Sony products.
And that's when, and instead of like 2 or 4 press conferences like E3 has, there's like 15.
Right.
I watched the guy talk about digital cameras at Sony's event, and it was the most boring time.
So that's
I've never seen photography be less interesting than
so it's
during that.
it's pretty bad. Like Sony didn't really have a great one. They had a couple of weird kind of products. They made a light bulb, an LED light bulb that has a Bluetooth speaker built into it.
That's sexy.
Where people were like, this comes from the department of this was an accident. I don't know. Like, why is that a thing?
Why does
We
it
just
play?
I say it again. This is and this your smart refrigerators, your fucking Bluetooth light bulbs. Like, this is when you have run out of things to invent. You have hit this wall where there is no meaningful advancement you can make with the current technological tool set.
Well, yeah.
So all you can do is combine things
Like,
into other
mash them
things and
together.
hope something sticks.
I guess, and for the most part, that's what CES is. CES is not really a promise of products that are coming out. It's more of
Right.
like a pissing contest where they could say
Right.
like, this is the future. This is what we're capable
Right,
of.
it's a
This is what
million
the
shitty
future-
concept cars,
Right.
but in this case, it's concept refrigerators.
Right, you talk about the light bulb and the speaker. Yes, on the surface, seems like a super dumbass idea. There was a temporary time where people laughed at cameras and phones also. That was like very temporary, but that worked out for everybody.
Wait.
I'm not comparing them. I'm not comparing them. I'm not
Think about
comparing
how
them.
many years it took for cameras in phones to actually be a viable thing,
Right, it was
where
like
actual
6.
photographers thought it was a meaningful
Totally.
addition and something they could actually work with, as opposed to just this, low-res, grimy piece of shit camera that
Right.
you only have because
Wait, do people
it's more
think that
expensive to
now?
buy. Yes, because those cameras are actually now high-res enough to where real photographers will use them. Like, it's almost like its own form. Like, my uncle, who used to be the head photographer of Rolling Stone back in the 60s, he's now involved with like some sort of iPhone photography magazine.
No kidding.
Like, he's like way into it.
Well, they've just replaced like the point and shoot cameras. Like you
Yeah.
don't see
Yeah.
those anymore.
Right, why
like, there's
can't
still,
it?
like the really high-end cameras and stuff, those are still,
Like, there's
viable.
aren't
SLRs,
going anywhere.
Yeah, SLRs aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I played Life is Strange. I know about high-end cameras.
She's super into that Polaroid. Anyway, so that's a problem CES is currently facing. It's like, it's a weird thing. But CES is not about the show floor anymore. And I know this, to people who experience it, have known this for probably a decade. But CES is about the deal making. And like, it brings 250,000 people into Las Vegas, and it sets up the whole year, your whole year of like what's going to happen. And that's really what CES is there for. Set against the backdrop of Las Vegas, where it's like glitzy and everyone's going out to nice dinner, and that's the whole thing.
And no longer set against the backdrop of the AVN Awards.
Right.
They finally separated those out enough to where they are no longer associated with one another.
The AVN Awards, of course, were the
Adult Video Network, yeah.
So that I was there for a few of those overlaps. That was interesting.
What happened to VR?
So that's where I wanted to bring. So that's a good sort of
They killed
Good
it. It's dead.
segue.
There's no
No,
more
well-
VR anymore.